Okay, so I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This is the second time I tried to film this video. The first time my mic wasn't working for some inexplicable reason, and yeah, I just wanted to say that this shirt. This is my comfort shirt. I love this shirt. It's like a security blanket or something. And if you see me on my channel wearing this shirt about a bajillion times, no, you didn't. Mind your business. Hey, I'm a local hippie, and today we're going to be talking about everything I read in April. This month was not a super wild, crazy, fantastic month of reading. I actually only read 6 books. Um, and you know what? I'm not really mad about that. I've been talking a lot since the start of this year about just not pushing myself to read some crazy amount and actually reading, holding on to, digesting the things that I do read. And, my TBR for this year is just comprised of mostly just huge tomes, classics, fantasy, 700 page romances. And so for me, you know, I'm feeling really good. Maybe a little disappointed, but I'm feeling really good, or maybe like a little bit underwhelmed. But overall, really happy with what I read this month because this month was a great reading month as far as quality was concerned. Um, so we're going to start with the book that I do not own, and that is The Dead Zone by Stephen King. That was 3 stars. For Stephen King, most of the time I rate his stuff pretty high, but with the Dead Zone, it was like a political science fiction, and I'm not that girly. I'm not the political science fiction girly. And that book was very political, and so wasn't my thing. With Stephen King, though, I think why he is my favorite author is because I really enjoy his style of writing and I really enjoy his voice as an author. Not really that I just love everything he writes. It's really I love the voice in which he writes what he writes. Now we're going to talk about the physical books that I own and that I have read this month. And these books are pretty much in the order of from what I read last to what I read at the beginning of the month. So we're starting with the book I just read, which was Edith Wharton's Ethan Frome, which I ended up rating 4 stars. I thought this book was so beautiful, but so simplistic to read, so just so able to like pull you in to this place into winter. This book takes place in the winter, hence all the snow and the pretty little sunset. And I thought Edith Wharton did a masterful job of being able to pull you in to the environment. And I think that if you want to get into reading classic literature, but you don't want to jump into something that might be a little bit overwhelming, I do think that you could start with an Edith Wharton book. And I do think you could probably start with Ethan Frome because it was so good. And I think I might make a video about a few of the classics that I think could be very easy for someone that's new to reading classics can go ahead and read and feel comfortable with stepping into that realm of literature without feeling overwhelmed because it's 700 pages or because it is, just very like super intellectual and the language is very so anyway, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by my stupid phone, is that if you want to get into classics, I do think that literature like this very American style, this Edith Wharton, John Steinbeck kind of simplistic, but also um still very profound writing, is something that you could get into without feeling overwhelmed. And so let's go to the book I finished before starting um, Ethan Frome, and that is going to be Wait for It by Mariana Zapata. I think Mariana Zapata is very rapidly becoming one of my favorite authors just because I haven't read a book of hers that I haven't liked yet, and I've read 3 of them, and I plan on reading more of them, and all of them were 5 or 4 stars or more. Actually, this is the only 4-star book of the 3 that I've read thus far by her. So, yeah, I like her style of writing. I like her characters. I just, yeah, her books just make me want to kick my feet and melt down the wall. And it's like, um, I mean, she just understands what us ladies want in a gentleman. And that's pretty cool. Next, we have a book that, you know, I didn't really like it that much. We have Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. Um, Not much to say about this book. I did do a review on it already. I didn't, it wasn't my thing. I didn't like it that much. And yeah, so it was 2 stars. Next, we're getting to the last 2 books, the books that carried me through the beginning half of April, and that's going to be Heir of Fire. This was so good. I believe I rated this high 4 stars, if not 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed this. This book tore me apart, tore me to shreds. And a part of that, and a part of the experience was compounded by the fact that I read the last book on this list first, The Assassin's Blade. In the reading order of Throne of Glass, as I understand it, there are 3 recognized ways that you can read it. You can read The Assassin's Blade first, which is somewhat some people might call the purist um, way, which I think is just the worst way to read it because this book is so important. I mean, in my opinion, this book is so important to the series that it should be read later on. It shouldn't be read at the beginning because by the time you get to Heir of Fire, you may not remember everything if you read it at the beginning, and then if you read it fourth, there are going to be some things that you miss in Heir of Fire, or maybe you could have that callback or however you like it. But I think it's better for you to either read it number 3, which is what I did right after Crown of Midnight, or read it as book number 4, right after Queen of Shadows, if you want a little break before you go into Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms. I decided to read it book number 3, and it just enriched the reading of Heir of Fire so much and made it so much better for me because I understood Selena. I think it will be very hard to go through the rest of the series not having that fundamental understanding of who Selena is and everything that she's been through, because before Assassin's Blade, I did not like her as a character. I really didn't. But when you read Assassin's Blade, you get that backstory on her, and it just makes her so much more complex of a character than what she was before reading this. So in Throne of Glass and in Crown of Midnight, it just gives her so much complexity. A complexity that was kind of hinted at towards the end of Crown of Midnight. It's expounded if you go into Assassin's Blade after Crown of Midnight as the 3rd installment of the series. That's how I read it, and I'm glad that I did. And then yeah, this month was just, I think it was a really good reading month as far as quality of what I read was concerned. Even though I didn't read like a whole bunch, I read some really good stuff. And so, as an honorable mention, because I'm going to start reading it today, we have Macbeth by William Shakespeare. Planning on finishing this before the end of the month, before the end of April. Today is Sunday, April 28th. And so I have a few days. So I'm going to try to finish this before the end of the month. And that's why I'm having it in this video, even though I don't have a rating for it because I haven't started it. But I will do a review for it. So fear not. And that will be up soon. But yeah, that was my month. Like I said, not as much as I usually read, but I'm okay with that because it's quality over quantity. And so yeah, that's gonna bring us to the end of the video. I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good evening. And most importantly, I hope you read a good book. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye.